Does the Free Market Corrode Moral Character? By James Michalski and Jared Venix. According to John Bogle, it depends. The system was dominated by individual investors who, pursuing their own self-interest, not only advanced the interests of society but exhibited such positive character traits as prudence, initiative, and self-reliance. Too frequently, corporations, pensions managers, and mutual fund managers have put their own financial interests ahead of the interests of the principals whom they are duty-bound to represent. Those 100 million families who are the owners of our mutual funds and the beneficiaries of our pension plans. Early on, in the 1950s, individuals held 92% of all U.S. stocks, and institutions held just 8%. Today, individuals hold only 25%, and institutions hold 75%. As Adam Smith put it, managers of the people's money rarely watch over it with the same anxious vigilance in which they watch over their own. Now, all that not many decades ago, the rule seemed to be there are some things that one simply does not do. Now today, the common rule is if everyone else is doing it, I can do it too. The name of this would be moral relativism. With 30 years ago, the average corporate CEO earned 40 times the compensation of the average worker. Today is more like 500 times.
Yep. Alright, according to Rick Santorum, markets require moral character if they are truly to be free. In turn, truly free markets promote moral character. As a politician, the most important word in free market is free. That a free market is more of a political and moral reality than an economic one. The free market depends on and rewards many human virtues. An example of this is market actors. They must develop the virtue of prudence, carefulness, foresight, and good judgment about the best way to apply a general rule in particular circumstances. They must make and keep promises even when error in judgment means a particular promise is not profitable to keep. These habits result in increased social capital, which is the best lubricant for the free market machine. Success in the free market depends on industry and diligence. Lazy and unfocused participants don't last long in business. Direct participation in free market economy promotes self-reliance and healthy individualism. Participants develop a habit of seeing problems as opportunities and of solving them by their own effort. Critics often charge that free markets and the profit motive promote an unhealthy, selfish individualism that elates self-concern above all else and slights social obligations. But individualism is perfectly compatible with social solidarity and charity towards others. Healthy individualism, which is an individual's belief in his own power to provide for himself and his family and to bring about needed social change, is the necessary precondition of solidarity with peers and charity towards others in need. To answer the question, does freedom itself corrode moral character? Looking at the dismal state of contemporary American culture, one might be tempted to answer yes. We are constantly bombarded with grim statistics about the state of moral decay, from pornography and marital infidelity to drug use and crime. This decay has resulted from the devolution of liberty, best defined as freedom with responsibility, and to license the freedom to do whatever you want, irrespective of its effect on others. Ultimately, as we find all too often today in the U.S., the licentious view of freedom leads to a disregard for the moral and licit. This tendency leads to less freedom because people become enslaved to their own passions and end up disregarding the rights and impinging on the freedom of others. This licentious understanding of freedom undermines the proper function of free markets, which depend on honesty, trust, responsibility, self-reliance in setting and adhering to long-term goals. Free markets do not corrode moral character, though they may increase the risk of certain kinds of moral problems. And while free markets undoubtedly play an important role in promoting virtue, strong families and communities are required to help foster individual virtue and the freedom this virtue allows. Like other aspects of a free and just society, free markets depend on individual morality, on taming our selfish passions and impulses and choosing the goals given to us by nature and nature's God.